And we are live. Welcome to another episode here of the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. Joining you here on April 16th. I got my guy Tyler McGuirk with me. I got Brian Johnson with me here on episode 131 here on Variety Sports Network as well. Be sure to look for us there. Tyler, we dropped the new merch. I got our own sweatshirt here. Got a few, so I've been wearing that. Very comfortable, by the way. So it's been funny wearing it at school. What the heck's Fatboy Sports? That's been fun to go. Been fun wearing that. So yeah, be sure to check out our store there. You can support us there and get some merch there. Be a fat. What do we say, Tyler? Be a fatty, right? That's the thing.
Yep.
In a good way.
Yeah, just support Fatboy FadeAway and be a fatty. It's a mantra. It's a state of being.
Exactly. And we got a lot to get into this morning. Obviously, the Kings Warriors thing is going to be our main topic of the day here. What did you think of that game, Tyler? I mean, just absolutely an electric game to start. We have Warriors Kings. Brian, never happened here in Northern California. Who knew? And it lived up to the hype.
E40, I guess, got kicked out of the game.
He got kicked out? I heard he had to get escorted. I didn't know he got kicked out. I thought he needed security to get out of the game there with it. But I'm not surprised. The game was hostile there. It got close. It got tight. Maybe as the series goes on, there will be more tension between the fan bases. I don't feel that yet. We'll see. It takes maybe a Kings loss next, and I think we have some tension going both ways here. Tyler, your initial thoughts on the Kings beating the Warriors 126-123?
I mean, first off, shout out to Sacramento. They showed up. They were loud. They were raucous. It was a great atmosphere. It's an atmosphere we haven't seen since we left Oracle in this part of Northern California. The game was spectacular. It was a great game. Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox just showed out. They were unstoppable. We had no answer for either one of them. Malik Monk getting 14 free throws is a little worrisome. I don't see him attempting that many free throws going down the stretch. But they contained Herder. They contained Sabonis for the most part. He didn't light us up, so that could be changed a little bit. My biggest takeaway is the minute Steph is not on the court, we have to play better. Their bench just ruined our bench. We had no answer for their bench. Alex Len was making big plays, which is never a good sign. It's kind of what I expected to happen. I expected to win game 2. Game 1, I knew the atmosphere was going to be like that. When you're that close, you hope you can pull it out. We didn't, but I'm not surprised by the outcome. I'm not worried yet. I did predict the Warriors in 6.
You sound
I thought they'd
optimistic.
win game 2. I'm still optimistic about it, and I just can't see De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk going for 30 every. I mean, Fox probably can. Can't see Malik Monk going for 35 every game. So we'll see how the rest of the series goes. I'm excited for it. It's going to be good.
Brian knows this as me as an A's fan. I'm going to be as pessimistic as possible here with it. That's just going to be my nature with it. The thing that worries me is I thought the Warriors actually played one of their better games of the year on the road. And I didn't think, you know what I mean? They weren't some of their turnovers. Yeah, they had a few, but they weren't as careless as I guess I've seen them in the past with them. And I thought they lived up to, I thought they played one of their better games. So when they lose that game and they have a 10-point lead multiple times in the game, I don't know. Tyler Sabonis, you said it, didn't have a very good game. It just concerns me a little bit that maybe we played one of our better games. And I thought Steph and Clay played pretty well for the most part when it mattered down the stretch a little bit. I thought they played well. People could say they could get hotter. Poole gave us 17 off the bench. Wiggins gave us 17 off the bench. I don't know. I just thought it wasn't our worst game. So it's I don't know. The Kings, I don't know. I'm not yes, it's automatic. We're going to now take the series in 6 like I was feeling. I was feeling that after the 3 quarters. I'll tell you that. But I'm a little bit worried about some of the things. Sabonis is a big worry for me. I'm not sure he played awful. I don't know. It's he forgot to jump a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, it is a worrisome loss because they did play not bad, but there was room for improvement still, and there's things that aren't going to happen again. It's just going to be a good series. Am I like positive the Warriors are going to win the series? No. How could you be? They're down 0-1. You never feel good being down in a series, especially when you're on the road. But like you say, a series never starts till a road team wins a road team wins a game.
Yeah,
we'll see how the rest of the series goes. The bench is my biggest worry.
What do you think about Fox though? Like Brian, I mean, he lit us up yesterday. 29 in the second half. The lefty. Maybe we got to put Gary Payton on him exclusively. Put the other, we got to go lefty on lefty. He knows the moves, maybe. But I don't know what this. I mean, Tyler, his floater game was unreal. Curry hits that. To me, the big point was Curry hits that unreal three in the corner. Just, I don't even know how that goes in. Just only he can make that shot. And then Fox comes down, gets a little pass out from the corner there, makes it 3, 115, 114. They took the lead. And I don't know. I just felt like that was a big shot from them to answer that big play by Curry there. And I just thought he had every answer last night. I am a little bit concerned about who's going to guard him down the stretch. We'll see. I think they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do multiple, like body-wise with him a little bit. And with Monk, because when he's in, he's going to be a free shooter. So, like, what do? They put Wiggins on. They start him now next game. Does DiVincenzo come off the bench? They'll be curious what they do. It's not like they got off to a hot start. The Kings were terrible to start the game, too. So we'll see in that regard what happens. It'll be interesting game, too. It'll be hard to live up to it. Brian, what do you think about the Kings being back in the playoffs? Last time they were there, obviously, or one of the big times they were playing your Lakers there in the playoffs. What did you think about the atmosphere there and lighting that beam?
Yeah, I mean, that's why was intriguing for me for this playoffs is that they don't have a lot of playoff experience. So I was wondering how the Kings would respond, and they did come out and they played a good game. So I was actually impressed with the crowd, and they seemed to get rowdy over there for the playoffs.
The crowd definitely lived up to the hype, I think, for sure. I think that's a good call on that one. What do you think? I know a guy that was kind of sneaky, like bad at times. I was like, yep, this is why we didn't want him. But then he came up with that big three at the end of the game, got some hustle tip-ins. Is our boy Harrison Barnes there? I thought he definitely had a little edge to his game today, or Tyler. Sometimes you don't get that kind of pure focus from Barnes. He did look a little different yesterday. I don't know. We'll see if he can sustain that focus throughout the series, but I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, he played well. He played well down the stretch. He struggled early, but he made the big play. That three with like 2 minutes or a minute and a half left was just a dagger. And then Steph comes back, answers it with an unreal step back that you're like, only Steph could do that. So, like, it was good. Wiggins has to play better in the second half. He started off great. Second half, he slowed down.
Oh, he missed that big three at the end, though. We can't miss that, right?
No, yeah, wide open in the corner. Steph gets doubled to Clay. Clay kicks it out to him, and he just throws up a brick. And then Clay's got to play better. You said he played well. I thought he played terrible for most of the game. He hit those 2 threes in the fourth quarter.
It kind of made up for a lot of his shooting when he hit those.
But he just was not – he can't guard anybody. That's his biggest issue right now. He has trouble staying in front of people.
Well, that's what I'm saying with what they do with Monk, because let's be honest, like Mitchell, if he gets hot, we're in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? If that type of player gets going for the Kings, we're like in deep trouble, like as in the war. So Monk is going to be their main guy. Fox is going to be their main guy. I think we can continue to contain Herter. I don't think he has the ball handling skills. Like the Warriors have enough speed on defense to be able to handle those guys. I think they're going to have to press up a little bit on those two if they continue to stay hot. I think Fox is the guy they just got to focus on more. Let Monk beat you. Let him beat you. Like, if you're going to do anything, treat him like Lillard and McCollum, like those days. That's how I would kind of go at them. The difference is Sabonis. Like, can they contain him again? That's a little bit of a worry for me, but we'll see.
We do have
Looney does a hell of a job. I mean, is there any more underrated Warrior in the last, like, in their franchise? I mean, honestly, the guy just, like, shows up. I know he scores 8 points. It doesn't even look like set, but I mean, he's just like, you can't move him. It's unreal how good how underrated he is.
Yeah, Looney just
for his part,
small things. He plays 32 minutes, gets 9 boards. They need to rebound the basketball better. That was my biggest issue. If you look at it, like 17 offensive rebounds. Wiggins was not playoff Wiggins when it came to rebounding the basketball. He has to rebound the basketball. I don't care how many points he scores. He has to hit the open shots and rebound the basketball.
Brian, did you see that play at the very end where Wiggins did get the corner three, but on that rebound, A lot of our Memphis guys were pointing out Green sitting on Sabonis. Did you see that at the end where he kind of just lays down on Sabonis? I don't think it would have affected the play either way, maybe on the rebounding side of it, but it turned out that be Tyler. What do you think of that? Though?
Just a Draymond Green play. He falls backwards on top of a guy, and he knows how to stiffen up those legs, so it's tough to get from out under. You've seen it multiple times this year. It's how he plays, and he's a nuisance for other teams. He can be a nuisance for us as well.
Those international white centers, man, he just likes beating him up. He likes that.
I guess the ball.
I'm surprised it wasn't Adams.
A key for me for the Warriors in the playoffs is, can they get anything from their bench? Because I think that's how you win series sometimes. Well,
that's going to be when they move Wiggins. I got to think Wiggins is going to move to the starting lineup next game, don't you?
Yeah, I agree with that. DiVincenzo, better bench player anyway. What do you think of Kuminga getting 10 minutes, scoring 8 points, but he doesn't rebound the basketball one time? Like, he was efficient scoring the ball. He got 6 shots up in 10 minutes, but you don't rebound the basketball one time in 10 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, they can't. That's the problem. But he does give him an edge on. He does give him something on scoring. That he just gives him a little breather. But that's the thing with Curry. He played him down the stretch a little bit more than I thought he would. You know what I mean? So I don't know. His lineup's a little. Some people had some issues with his lineups a little bit in the fourth quarter. He just did get a little. He kind of goes out of rhythm once in a while. You think like maybe don't pull Curry in that situation. Curry's.
But he has to get a blow at some point.
I know everybody.
The run's coming.
We gotta get. I don't know. I just kind of I don't have the issue with Curry so much. I get that the bench players have to step up, but I don't know. Any last thoughts on the game, the crowd? The thing also about the crowd is they were there early and late. You tweeted something. Holy, we'll talk about a party. Sacramento, all the whole.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked absolutely packed outside of the stadium.
I bet everybody wasn't there for Macy's either. They were probably there some other things. Actually, have you been to the stadium lately? They got like restaurants everywhere around there now. So when we went there for the tournament game, when Princeton played somebody, there was a lot of people over there. So it's a cool area to go to. All right. Hey, with Northern, like people don't realize like in our area, like I know like in other states, like if we talked, like you said, we have guys in Terrell, he's in Virginia. He talks about I was up, I think on his podcast, like I said last week. They're out in Virginia. Like there's a small little area. Sacramento and where we live is literally an hour and a half drive, not very far at all, and probably a little faster. Yeah, traffic maybe on a Friday night, but get the but it's really not far at all. Like me and you like have friends all the time. We would go there on the weekend, come back. Like there's not like that big a deal going there. And like these teams are just like Casey said perfectly. They've never been over 500 at the same time, so that's why there's no natural rivalry. I thought it was funny. Somebody asked Steve Kerr after the game yesterday, like, well, even if you guys lose or something like this, are you still going to be happy for Northern California? And he's like, what? He's like, no, I'm not wearing pom-poms for Northern California. It's just kind of like funny. Like, but for like us and the fans, it is pretty cool to see like good basketball on display and to kind of get to see like a Kings fan base and a Warriors fan base that are so close together, kind of maybe have this rivalry that has never even been a possibility really before.
Yeah, it's fun. The Kings are a fun team to watch too. It's not like some style of basketball you don't want to watch. It's up and down. It's fast. De'Aaron Fox is electric. What do you think looking back on it now? Obviously, it's easy to judge. I don't remember what your initial thoughts were, but the Sabonis for Halliburton trade that the Kings got absolutely killed for when they made it. I remember liking it because I was a big Sabonis guy. We had him in like our top 30 players already in the NBA when he got traded, even higher now. Is that trade going to go down in history? I mean, if they win something, it definitely will. But
I've listened back to our pod at that time. We all liked the trade, actually, when we said it. We all thought like they were getting killed then. I mean, you see it. They may be long-term, 5 years from now, maybe Halliburton at that point. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe there's like a level that he gets to. But like the Kings needed to change. It was automatic for their point that they had to do something. They weren't going to do anything with Fox and Halliburton together. So I think that's just what needed to happen. Good for them. Until they beat us in the playoffs, then not good for them, I guess. So screw them for overall. Right now, it's bad.
I guess that would be something like in my area if like the Clippers played the Lakers or something.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
That's more of a rivalry than
that's more of a rivalry than the Kings of because at least they're like been good now the last couple of years. lately. But yeah, I hear you. That's exactly what it'd be. All right. Hey, real quick, if we had I was looking at like some of the all-time Kings players and all-time Warriors players going into just kind of into this match, just kind of looking at like some of the things that stood out from like their roster, all-time roster, and the Warriors all-time roster. And I was looking at the Warriors one. And you know what honestly stood out to me the most? Look at the Warriors all-time stats. Is Jordan Poole is like top 20 or 25 now in games played. Like he's right. Like he's been around that much. He has way more games played than Baron Davis. He's got more. He averages more. He has more points scored than Baron Davis. Yeah, I mean, like I was like, he was the one that jumped out to me. I was like, he's really been that kid on the. I guess he took a lot of shots. Like, more shots than I thought there. Any of the rosters anything stand out to you from looking at the rosters? You think the Warriors? I think the Kings, they just don't have guys that have stayed very long on their teams. Stojakovic and Richmond are like the most recent like Kings, unless we want to go back to the Oscar Robertson days that have been there the longest. Anything from that stand out from looking at their all-time roster teams?
The Warriors are loaded. If you just take like their best player at each position, it's as good as almost any team except for the Lakers and all.
Well, Chris Webber might play power forward over what? Where would he play power forward over? I'm talking if we're talking recent Warriors history. So like, let's say since the 70s or something like that.
Okay, so no Will,
none of that stuff. That's
okay, so I'd have Draymond, KD.
You have Draymond over Chris Webber?
Draymond, Webber, KD, or Webber, Draymond, however you want to do it. KD.
Who would you start at center? Let's say it's between Green and Webber. Who you go there?
I'd go, oh, man, that's a tough one. I mean, just for the championships, you have to go Draymond, but I think Webber's a more skilled player. Like,
all right, so you go there.
That's a tough one.
Small forward.
Who would you rather have?
Me? I think I'd rather have Draymond for the defense.
Yeah,
just give me that.
Yeah, that's true.
Give me that factor overall on it. Weber was an all-time passer, though, man. I always feel like he's a what-if player, too. I've always said that, like, his scenario and just kind of some of his things. Yeah.
What if he never, like, the what-ifs, what if he never got traded from Orlando? Or Orlando just took him one and you had Shaq and him. Would that have worked? Like, I can't imagine it not working. It's two skilled big guys.
His passing and stuff like that. Bibby, I asked that on Twitter yesterday, Brian. Would you rather have Bibby or Stojakovic if you're on the Kings? Who was better for the Kings? Most people voted Bibby, even though Peja has the longer career on the Kings and kind of holds more, more stats, more points, stuff like that for the Kings. But I said I'd rather have Bibby. I think his career from the Kings. What do you think from a Lakers fan back in the day?
I would probably go Stojakovic because he was more of a pain in the butt to us than Bibby was.
Really? He had that big handoff from Webber 2-pointer to win the game, and I think gave me 5 or 6. I remember that. So I think Bibby was.
What I really hated was Vlade flopping all the time.
But yeah,
Brian, what else could you do against Shaq though? He's an unstoppable force.
I know. For a while there, they tried to do the hack a Shaq thing and make him go the free throw, and
I don't think you do anything. I think the all-time roster too. I think if you look at point guard, you go Curry right there with it. Obviously, you go Thompson at shooting guard, but Richmond would be he might be he'd be right there 6th man. He'd be a tough call there with it. And then Mullen at small forward, maybe
over KD.
I don't know. Well, KD, I don't know. I think you have to play a couple more years than that for me too. I need more years than that too. All right, let's keep it moving here. A couple NBA thoughts here. Brunson, I'm comparing him to Jalen Hurts of the NFL in the terms of a guy I completely missed on. Hey, they have the same name too. I just
don't like the Jalen.
I didn't think they were going to be that good come the professional level. I did not think Brunson was going to be this good. In the NBA. Tyler, he's been unreal. They ended up beating the Cavs yesterday. A couple other things that stood out to me. Gobert punches Anderson in that game. Brian, I don't know if you saw that. Or Gobert punches Anderson there. He gets suspended to play in game. They end up winning. They go play the Nuggets tonight. Anything else stand out to you early on from the playoffs here? Sixers, they look pretty good. Celtics yesterday?
Just the Celtics. That might be a clean sweep. I might be wrong about the Hawks winning any games in that series. They looked overmatched and had no chance in that first game. Jason Tatum showed up. Jaylen Brown looked like there was no ill effects of cutting his hand on glass a few weeks ago. So, yeah, the Hawks are in deep trouble.
Yeah, I think it makes the playoffs more intriguing with those play-in games.
Oh, so you like it? Tyler said the other day he doesn't like it because he feels like it would create more drama without it. I mean, I'm kind of like either way on it. Like, I just feel like the regular season should be shorter. They keep making it longer for some damn reason. Make it the season 72 games and add the play-in. That's better. I do that. That's fine with me. I already feel like there's too many games. That's my issue with it to begin with. But I guess it does create a little bit more drama for like getting that week off. I guess that's kind of adds a little bit to it there. So in some ways, I do like it. Brian, put it this way. I'm starting to like it a little bit more. What do you guys think about
do the Clippers have a chance against the Suns?
A lot of people I feel like are starting to kind of now with that early talk being the Suns are the dominant team. I hear a little bit more like, the Clippers maybe can give them a little bit more of a fight. But I don't know, like I just don't see it. I don't think without George there, I don't think the Clippers have enough firepower to overcome the Suns' firepower.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys this real quick though, just a general NBA take. Isn't it really like, is it just me or is like Western Conference playoff basketball just always different than Eastern Conference playoff basketball? Am I being just too, or does it just feel like when it's on, it's just a little bit better?
I've enjoyed it more the last 2 decades. That's for damn sure. Since Jordan left the East, it's just been LeBron dominant and.
But even those
really
games
much
are not always like the funnest. You know what I mean? Like to watch.
It's not up and down. It's kind of.
Did I just say funnest?
I didn't say funnest.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
You got to look in a dictionary there.
I got to look at the. But I just think it's amazing to me, like how much to me the Western Conference playoffs are always more exciting than me. I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just something built up in my own head. But like, just the games always seem a little bit more electric, I guess.
Could it be that you're imagining?
I don't know. You always had
in a couple weeks.
Probably so. But the Kings and Sonics back in the day, the Blazers, and like I don't know, like they're always more running good. I guess other than the Jazz back in the day, like all the other teams usually tried to play a little bit more up tempo and stuff like that. It felt like so. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. We wanted to get into Butler, DeMar DeRozan just real quick. Who we're saying? You kind of wanted to talk about. Who was better?
Who would you rather have who's had a better career so far? Like, I looked up their numbers; they are ridiculously the same, basically.
Yeah.
DeMar scores a couple more points. Butler gets a couple more rebounds. Assists are about the same. They shoot. DeMar DeRozan shoots 46.8% from the field. Butler shoots 46.7%. They both are below average 3-point shooters. They both hit free throws at a great rate. They're both 6-time All-Stars. They're DeRozan's a 2-time All-NBA second team, 1-time third team, and Jimmy Butler's a 4-time third team All-NBA. It's ridiculous, their numbers. And then DeRozan's been to 1 Eastern Conference final. Butler's been to 2 with a finals in the bubble. I discount the bubble. I know a lot of people don't like that I do that, but it wasn't real basketball to me. It was what?
You can't discount the bubble.
Yes, I can. It wasn't real basketball. There was nobody there. It's not basketball. You're playing an open.
Yeah, I love. It was the same thing for WrestleMania. They had people's faces on TV screens. I mean, it was so bad.
that I hated. If you go back and watch the games, the TV screens, you're right. That was kind of annoying on all sports figures there.
I mean, but back to DeRozan and Butler.
Yeah.
They're so close. They're like the same height. Butler's a better defender, obviously. And Butler's been to the NBA Finals. So I think Butler gets the edge. But I think DeRozan gets his career sold short based on his failure in the playoffs against LeBron constantly. And then he gets traded. Kawhi comes in. They win his championship. So, I mean, I don't know. Who would you rather have for their whole career? And like Butler, but DeRozan does things Butler can't do. DeRozan scored 27 points a game twice in a season, or 27 points per game for a whole season twice, where Butler's averaged like 23 at most.
It sounds like you're trying to talk yourself into DeRozan.
I feel like he's sold short constantly. Like where Butler, I would take Butler because of the playoff success, but I think DeRozan needs to get more respect, and Rosen's phone.
So you're taking Butler
here. But I would take Butler by a slight edge, not a big edge, just slightly.
If you go by awards and stuff, right? Butler's the guy. I know, like DeRozan has 2 more All-Stars, but then Butler has like the 5-time. Well, I thought Butler. I thought DeRozan had a couple more. Maybe I was wrong. I think Butler though. He's 5-time all defensive team.
Yeah, that's
DeRozan. I don't think DeRozan's made any of those. most improved. That count as an award there. He was a steal champ in that regard. I'm not sure if those things matter in the overall scheme of things. I think if you look at the playoff success, especially lately, I think Butler, that's where it starts to kind of give him a little bit more of an edge career-wise. Team-wise, if you're coaching a team, there might be a part of you that kind of wants DeRozan over Butler just for the smoothness of the not dealing with
operation
locker room things. But I think most people would go with Butler, I believe.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I would.
I just think it's closer than
go with
people
Butler
think
as well. Brian, would you take Butler or DeRozan?
Butler, just because he probably brings more things to the table than DeRozan does.
Second round pick too. Great. Or late first. Well, was it second round or late first? I gotta look. Let me see. I gotta double check.
DeRozan does have 2 All-NBA second teams. Butler has none. He was
the 30th pick overall, Butler, in the 2011 draft, and DeRozan was the 9th overall pick in the 2009 draft. So yeah, right there around the same career with it. It's an interesting debate. What was the one we did with Clay and Reggie? Right? There's a few that, like, if you look at some of these players, they're really close. It just kind of comes down to preference a little bit too, and maybe situation. But
that's interesting that you'll take Butler, but Clay had more playoff success, more awards. Well, maybe not more All-NBAs, but more playoff success, better defender. That you'll go with Butler over DeRozan.
Well, I'm not going over Butler because of awards. I just noticed that that was your thing. I just think Butler, I would take him. Just there's more like things he does off the ball I like a little bit more than DeRozan. Like there's some scrappiness to him that I like as well. So he would be the guy I would take. That would be the main reason. There's just some other things I like there. His intangibles a little bit more. I think DeRozan, obviously, that was a great score. And obviously is a 6-time All-Star, been an Olympian, so he gets the respect and probably won't. There's no way those guys are Hall of Famers, you think? Do you?
I mean, everybody makes it in the NBA. They'll probably get in eventually.
Hey, real quick before I move on, Lakers Grizzlies pick. Brian, who you got?
I gotta go with Memphis. They're just a way more talented team than the Lakers, and I just hope I cannot vote for LeBron. I just hope he loses.
Brian, I feel you on that. I think Memphis will win, but I think the Lakers will give them trouble. If the game slows down at all and the Lakers don't turn the ball over, it's going to be a long series. I mean, the Timberwolves gave the Grizzlies trouble last year in the first round. AD's better than Karl Anthony Towns. I can't imagine it being a blowout either way. But the Grizzlies have more athleticism, and nobody is staying in front of John Morant on that defense. So I give the edge to the
Who's the white guy on that? Reeves? He gets the fouls.
Austin.
Austin's big.
Little country. Little country.
Little country.
Oh man.
A little country. I like that. He's getting all the calls out there here. Tyler, obviously we both took the Grizzlies to win this series. Well, I don't. Casey took the Lakers to win in, what was it, 5 or something like that? So
that seems like a Casey. He picked the Browns to win 10 games one year. So
yeah, but he always gets excited, and then he reminds me of the ones. He reminds me though of the ones he wins all the time. I always get reminded of the damn ones he wins.
Obi Toppin was the best player coming out of the draft.
Hey, from Dayton, my guy Doug, if he's well listening there. We got Dayton Flyers. He gives me that. I get the updates all the time because of that. All right, so we all have the Grizzlies winning. Brian's a little bit more specific. The reason why he has them losing there, I like that. Space Jam, not a fan of number 2 apparently. All right, let's keep moving.
Maybe you're right there, and I should have become a Kings fan because now they're in the playoffs. So.
Exactly.
I was in your garage. He was thinking about teams I should start rooting for because I'm done with the Lakers. He's like, maybe be a Kings fan. They're so bad and. Yeah.
Ryan, if you become a Kings fan, I'll get you a throwback Bloody Divac jersey.
Maybe a Scott Pollard.
Scott Pollard.
I know, man. Totally appreciate it. Scott Pollard shout out there. All right. Hey, last thing with the NBA, just real quick. Top selling jerseys. Jordan Poole made the top 15. I thought that was kind of funny in there. He made the top 15 of selling jerseys there. Tyler, you posed the question, Poole or Monk. Maybe got a little closer after last night's performance there. And then just a little something I'm thinking about. I saw Poole and Looney played 82 games this year. Why are they so special that they get to play 82 and nobody else? I'm just curious of how that works out. So some players can play 82 because of the trainers say their body has lived up to the height they can take it. Some say they need a rest. So I don't know. It just sometimes I wonder with those things.
Yeah, especially with like Looney's injury history. It's not like he's been healthy his whole career. Very interested.
Poole, they're like, Poole, you just got paid, man. You're gonna get out there every game.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Everybody else is banged up for sacrificing you today.
I don't care if you got knocked out before the season started. You get your ass out there. It wasn't your legs that got hit. It wasn't your...
Where's the Chris Tucker over here? That guy, you got knocked up. But Jordan Poole was also the ninth most impressions on social media this year of all NBA players, which I was like, what the hell? I didn't know Jordan Poole was so popular among fans.
He's got the moves. Hey, real quick here, let's pay the bills with our take here. We'll go to row one brand. Actually, we'll go to SeatGeek here. What was it? Here's a guy, Josh, here.
All right, so I'm a baseball guy, and my goal is to actually see a game in every Major League Baseball stadium. Now, I'm more than a third of the way there, and I never buy from the team's websites. SeatGeek is my first stop whenever I'm heading to a new city for a ball game. Now, obviously, they've got some other sports as well as concert tickets, Broadway, comedy, I mean, you name it. And now for VSN listeners, they're actually offering you $20 off your first ticket purchase. So just use the code VSN, that stands for Variety Sports Network. So that's VSN to save $20. So put that to use for some food or for some drinks at whatever event you are wanting to attend. Again, that code is VSN to save $20 on your first SeatGeek purchase.
We got Josh over there. Tyler, do the facing the Giants with over there. Use that code VSN, get $20 off it. If you're going out to that Grizzlies game day, you want some last second tickets, you want another game there, you want to hit to. What interests you the most today, Tyler? We'll just hit that real quick. Then we're not going to go over the game. Just which one? We got Memphis, LA, Miami, Milwaukee, Phoenix, Clippers. We got Denver, Minnesota. Maybe we already went LA, Memphis, but is there one of the other three that kind of intrigues you a little bit?
I like all of them today except for the Heat and Bucks. I don't really care about that one.
The
Heat are just the toughest team for me to watch in the NBA. They're so boring. They go through these streaks of just like 8 minutes without a field goal. It's like college basketball time.
You can only watch Max Strus so many times.
He's a great shooter. I'll give him that. But It's probably Clippers Suns, like I said about Kevin Durant multiple times on this show. He's just my favorite player to watch. I'll watch him whenever he's playing basketball. So,
hey, use that code VSN. Help us out a little bit. Like I said, help us with the merch. Help us with the code there. Like I said, you get $20 off your tickets there. Brian, I'm kind of intrigued. Let's go setters. I want to go Jokic tonight. I'm kind of interested with that. I know Minnesota's the 8th seed, but Denver, right, Tyler? Little questions there, Nico. He said he felt on his last podcast, far on the bench, said he felt very confident. He did not want the Lakers. He did not want the Lakers. So he avoids them. He gets the T-Wolves. I think the T-Wolves could be a little bit of a tough matchup there. So I'm interested to see that one as well. All right, let's keep it moving here. Hey, real quick, let's transition over to I want to go to hockey real quick because the playoffs were starting with it. The Sharks, our guy Ant was sent to me these videos of Bedard over there. I'd never seen him really play. Nobody had sent me the videos of him or anything like that. And so I see he sends me the videos of him. One of them when he's like 12. So it's some sort of like drill or something, like with the goal. And he's like, yeah, it's just practice. And I'm like, good God. It's just like,
the kid's ridiculous.
It's like, it's crazy. And then like you see a few in the game. And I'm like, got me thinking the Warriors had Curry, but like he wasn't drafted like he was the star, like the number one, like coming in. Like it wouldn't be kind of crazy. When's the last time the Bay Area has had like this guy is a stud right from the beginning? Like I was trying to think, and for hockey, that would be huge out here. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys, but no like lead like quarterbacks or guys like that in football. Marlowe was.
Do you think it would do anything for the Bay Area though? I guess that's what I'm trying to get to. Is like, would that star figure like hype? If he's a beast, let's just say he's getting 150 goals like that guy was doing for Edmonton. Like, is that going to draw
50 points? Not goals.
Yeah, 50 points. Ridiculous. Is that going to draw Bay Area fans in that sense? To somebody like that.
For sure it would.
And so I'm just wondering if the Sharks win the lottery, how big could a star mean in the Bay Area like that? Because Curry's on his way out, right, more than he is his way in, and I don't see anybody on the Niners that fits that mold quite yet. I don't see anybody on the Giants that fit that mold. So that's kind of where I see it. Definitely not anybody on the A's. So, I don't know. I just think the Bay Area could really use it.
Oh, they definitely could. I mean, the Sharks had one of the best crowds for like a decade. They had like 10 straight seasons of sellouts. If you bring in this kid, he's the best prospect since McDavid. It'd be exciting. I've heard a lot of people go, "Oh, they won't let him go to San Jose. It's not a big enough market. It'll be in Canada or one of the original six." I don't believe in any of that baloney unless it's the Knicks in the lottery sometimes. But yeah, I think it'll be special for San Jose and the Bay Area to bring in a player of that caliber. It's like the LeBron James of hockey at this point.
It'd just be interesting for me, Brian, to see if like hockey, like if he was truly this great of a player, like what it could do for like not just hockey, but just like the Bay Area getting a superstar and could transition to us watching a game on Tuesday night, Tyler. Like that type of thing. Like, you know what I mean? That's my point. Like how good, like, because if he's a stud out of this world, obviously me and you would turn anything off for somebody that's going to be a once in a generational player. All right. So the playoffs starting there in hockey. Just last thing on that. Do you guys ever watch any games like late night if it's on anything with hockey? Playoffs, it's obviously a little bit better. Game sevens to me for the first round are automatics. Like I'm at least maybe checking it on those for sure.
I'll watch last 5 minutes and overtime period. So that's about it for the playoff hocky without the Sharks involved.
Did you ever stay up late for that Penguins Flyers? That was like, I remember it started on the East Coast, like ended at like 10 o'clock our time. I was like, good God. Remember that was like Penguins Flyers or something like that?
I'm not sure. I remember the Sabres Stars was a long game that ended on a questionable call.
Yeah, I remember going over to Darren's during Sharks playoff hockey, and every time they scored a goal, we'd be doing sit-ups.
It was good luck to do the sit-ups if they scored. That was very superstitious, right?
Oh, God.
All right. The Penguins, I saw they lost the streak. They didn't. The Kings did it. The Sacramento Kings made the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. The Pittsburgh Penguins missed the playoffs for the first time in 15 years. So that's pretty crazy there, aren't they? All right, let's keep it moving. Giants A's real quick. They look like complete crap. The Giants bullpen, Tyler, is just blowing it up in your face. The A's can't even use their bullpen. They're down this. They walked 17 guys the other day against our guy and the Mets. Unbelievable. Then they lose yesterday 3-2, so they can lose in all fashions, people. Let's start with your Giants. They signed Logan Webb to $90 million. He's your best player. At least they signed him. But the bullpen looks terrible. I listened to your podcast, Facing the Giants, for your complete thoughts on them this week. But kind of just give us a little recap of the Giants this week and how you're feeling about them right now.
The bullpen's pathetic. It feels like every time they come in, the clouds open up and just shit on the people of San Francisco and Giants fans. Berebia, Rogers, Doval, they all are not any good. Just a shit show. It's still early. I guess that's the saving grace at this point. Could get better. I'm not counting on it. It doesn't look like it will. The bullpen is it's the worst in baseball. I can't imagine it being any worse. It just is god awful. We've blown 2 games the last 2 days to the Detroit Tigers, who are by far the least talented team in all of baseball. Miguel Cabrera gets a walk-off hit. That's kind of cool to see, and probably his last season, but that was a rough cool week as a Giants fan.
It wasn't hit very hard. He just hit it in the right place.
A little rubber.
Right in the right location. The bullpen, that's the word. You're up 6-0. I was driving in.
6-1.
They're doing the post-game recap as I'm driving in yesterday to pick up groceries at Rayleigh's. Going in there to pick up groceries there at Rayleigh's. I hear the recap. The guy's like, the Giants would take the lead 6-0, and they would not score the rest of the day. So that's not good. They don't want to lose there. What do you think about my question for you then, I guess, would be, is this a Kapler thing or a bad stretch?
I think it's just a lack of talent thing. Their pitchers suck. Their bullpen is not good.
How about that guy yesterday with you on Facing the Giants? Relax, Tyler. They're only a game out.
That guy was talking about the Mariners and Astros and the Cardinals, like we're in the same realm of talent. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed the guy's comments. He made it entertaining. Thanks if you're listening. But yeah, we're just we're not talented enough.
Brian, let's go to our team. Not talented enough.
No,
I want to the team itself. Like I said, I always got to mention my guy. He's a Mets fan, and he's like, man, I didn't realize how bad the A's were. You told me you were watching a Ricky Henderson documentary the other day. Keep watching old stuff. That's the way to go on that. Don't watch the new stuff. They're awful right now. I mean, and Kate came out and said Kate says he's just so damn good looking. No, Kate goes, what a beard. What a beard, he said. No. So Kate goes, ultimately it feels like it's a non-competitive environment when he's talking about the Oakland A's. That is not good if your manager is saying that after 14 games. Obviously, that came after 17 walks. 17 walks. I mean, that's Little League-esque. That is awful in that sense. Brian, to me, it's so bad. Like, so bad. To me, it's the ownership, and to me, it's so ridiculous that MLB lets this happen. I don't understand how that's what frustrates me the most about this too. Is like they're like, we can get rid of guys. I know, Tyler, you can roll your eyes already, but
I hate how you make excuses for them.
Situation with it. They are. You can't let a team. They're literally taking on purpose the whole season. They're not trying to.
I see it.
I don't know. I just don't get it.
It feels like it's the race for the number 1 pick between the Tigers and the A's.
Well, the A's are going to run away with that one. Like. I just was watching I watched the A's game because I wanted to see Kodai pitch, and the guy the A's were throwing had the worst stuff I've ever seen. He was like throwing little frisbees, like 89 right down the middle, and he couldn't throw it over the plate when he was trying to get to the corners. The Capillarian guy, I was like, who is this guy, and why is he in the majors? It was very bad. They're bad.
Not good at all.
They're going to be lucky to win 45 games this year.
45 games.
You said they weren't going to be that bad just last time you were on the podcast.
Well, I saw them play, and they changed my mind.
They're going to turn it around, Brian. Relax.
I feel like I should have like a countdown clock to Niners opening day.
Yeah, we should have a little countdown. All right, let's do a little quick round here. We got 5 questions left here. We'll get out of here. All right, hey, last thing on baseball notes with it. Rays off to a hot start. One of the best starts, tie the best start ever. Bellinger, he gets called for a pitch clock after the Dodgers fans were giving him a celebration, kind of a little ovation. He took his time getting into the batter's box. He gets a strike called on him. I thought that was pretty funny. Beer cells go to the 8th inning now. What do you guys think about that? Josh Lewis, for good reasons. He said DUIs could go up, stuff like that. In that regard, all good points. They said the games are going faster, so we need our fans chugging that beer more. They get it extended to the 8th inning. Anything stand out to you with that, Tyler?
I mean, the umpires calling a delay a game is hilarious on Bellinger. Then the beer thing. Can't people be responsible for their own decisions? Like, why is everything held to the upper, like people higher up? Make good decisions. If you're too drunk, stop drinking. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
That's kind of what I kind of said that on there. I said, but my only thing would be the people that are going to be drinking at the 8th inning probably. It doesn't matter anyways. They're gonna be drunk. They're not gonna stop. They're gonna just drink more before the 7th inning. That, you know what I mean? But I get them. The game would end longer, so that makes sense in that regard. Found that out. All right, let's go to the next thing here. Jackie Robinson Day yesterday. Do you guys remember where they announced that at? What baseball stadium what's his wife's name? I just wrote it down. I can't think of his name. I'll just say Mrs. Robinson. And our president at the time, Bill Clinton, were there at a stadium. They announced that this Jackie Robinson's number would be retired forever in MLB history. Do you remember what stadium that was? Brian Johnson, I'll give you the first chance.
I'm going to go, since it's Bill Clinton, Baltimore Orioles Stadium.
That's where I was going to go.
Why not Arkansas? There's no team. Yeah,
where was it?
Next stadium. It was at Shea Stadium in New York because it was the Brooklyn. They were playing the Dodgers in New York. The Brooklyn Dodgers. Yeah, that was the symbolism there in New York. So that's where they're at. That was my question for it. They honored him yesterday with that. Obviously, probably the most influential player here in the last 100 years of baseball, I would say, in baseball. So it's pretty cool that they do that. All right, number 11 here, Barkley. Let's get to the NFL real quick. I don't know, Brian. Do you think the Giants will give Barkley a deal, or you think they'll franchise tag him and he'll sign it?
I mean, I probably see a franchise tag coming. I just don't see the Giants giving him a huge extension yet. But I mean,
do you think he'll sign it though?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're a player, does it really benefit you to sit out the whole season anymore?
He's their best player.
Fined. Yeah,
he's their best player, and he plays running back, which gets abused in the market usually until they get you know what I mean? So what do you think, Tyler?
I mean, I think they'll franchise him. I think he'll eventually sign. You can't pass on $14 million. Like, it's just and sit out. I mean, it worked for Emmitt Smith, but that was 30 years ago. So I don't see anybody.
And then
getting an extension
Marshawn
like that.
Lynch tried doing it.
That's right.
And Le'Veon Bell tried doing it. It just never worked out. I mean, I guess Le'Veon got a deal eventually, but
That's what I mean.
I don't know.
If he wants the money, he'll sit out. They'll pay him eventually. I think you think he'll just have another. He's their best player, isn't he?
Yeah, the Giants offense is a very
By
talented.
far.
But
I'm not going to say Daniel Jones is their best player because he isn't.
He's there. He gets paid like he's the best. You know that works. All right, Dan Snyder gone for the Commanders. It's sad that I listened to him. He's not quite gone yet. I think it's going to make it interesting. So he's gone, but not gone. People, whatever. And somehow Magic Johnson finds his way into ownership. How does this work? This man.
I just thought it was insane. $6.5 billion.
Incredible. Devin White, get your butt to the Raiders. Please go to the trade him to the. We need a linebacker for the love of God. Go to the Raiders. Get your way over there. We also got Purdy. He avoids the good old Tommy John there. Tyler, a little big deal, a little TMB, talk little Niners here. Little Purdy action, avoids the Tommy John surgery. And my guy
I didn't know
Terrell,
he was in danger
listening
of
to
having Tommy John.
Yeah, he was going to have it. There was going to be a big recovery deal for him. So that now my guy Terrell, I like this. Gets the pot stirring on the realism sports there. He really thinks it. Maybe I'm starting to buy into it. Is there a chance, Brian? Is there a chance Thomas Brady going to return late August? The Niners, they're in desperation. God. Another injury. Is there a chance?
I feel like you shouldn't believe this bullshit. It's either Rodgers or it's Brady or Lamar Jackson. It's like they're not coming to the Niners. Let's move on.
Am I taking crazy pills? Like, why would Tom Brady come out of retirement? Like, it doesn't make sense. Purdy will be there. He avoided the Tommy John. He'll be there week 3 starting.
Like, I came up with a nickname for Purdy fans. Purdy people, and then there's Lance lovers, and then when Jimmy was on there, then there's the Jimmy fanboys.
Brian, why can't you just be they're on the Niners? They're both they can be equal, right? They're both going for the same thing right here. I always like talking a little Niner stuff with you guys. The Tommy Johnny avoids it though, Tyler.
How does Casey feel about Jimmy being on the Raiders?
He likes Derek Carr still. Casey still likes Derek Carr. I'm not a Derek Carr guy. No, I don't know. We'll have to get Casey out here to explain it with one of these times. All right, last thought on football here. Eli, just quick yes or no. Eli Manning, you guys have him as a Hall of Famer, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we all have him as a Hall of Famer. Now, let me ask you this: if he only won one Super Bowl, would he be a Hall of Famer? Okay, that was Tyler's. That again, you want to make the argument for no.
Yeah, I do. I would love to not to be, but he is. He's gonna get it. He beat the 17-0 Patriots. You get in for that almost alone.
What a helmet! What a helmet!
But I still blame Kyle Williams for one of his Super Bowls. Like, why do you keep fumbling, man?
Kyle Williams will never. There's some guys that you'll just never leave. You'll never forget about. What a GM he's been though for the White Sox. His dad. All right.
And don't forget Odell signed with somebody.
Oh yeah, Brian. That's why you're on, Brian, the man Johnson. That's why he's on here, folks. We're getting down to the last 5 minutes of the podcast here. Odell signed with him. He said it was not about the money. It is about.
Yeah, he's lying.
That is about the money. He got a lot more than I thought, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, $18 million for one season is like the Ravens overpaid for him a lot, too much. I mean,
Lamar has his number one guy now, though, Tyler.
Yeah.
Well, Lamar plays. And is he a number one guy? We haven't seen him in a year and a half. He was really good on the Rams, but I don't trust Lamar to throw. I mean, they always say, "Oh, you guys look at his stats throwing the ball." I just don't trust the guy.
I did see some stats on Facebook that says so far he's had better numbers than Big Ben. So
I hated Big Ben. I was never. I mean, like he was one of those guys where like he at the beginning of his career. Remember, he didn't look good that first year they made it to this. Like, was it the first year or the second year they made it?
And it was the second year.
But he didn't look very good in that year either. Like he threw a lot of picks, and they had to like get a lot of lucky kind of wins. It felt like, and they started like 9-0 or something crazy like that. I remember with him as the quarterback. I remember I was not a fan of him at all. And then slowly over the years, I was like, damn it, he's good.
And then that motorcycle accident getting absolutely destroyed by the Raiders. I remember that game.
Yeah, I don't. That one I don't remember. Anytime the Raiders destroy anybody, I forget. That I forgot. I didn't know we destroyed anybody.
Was that a Brad Gradkowski game? I think it was.
Yeah.
No, well, that was oh, you're right, in Pittsburgh. I remember we won
Yeah.
that one. What a spectacular
Yeah,
result.
but just the throw to Santonio Holmes is the type of player that Ben Roethlisberger is. Like, he's special. He was good. I mean, he had his moments. You see the
he's a
little
Hall of Famer
touchy
too,
around
then.
the female. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
And then
sure.
Rivers, is Rivers going too from that class?
No, I don't think he'll get in.
Even with all the kids?
He's a Hall of Famer in the procreating world.
All right. What will it take for you to watch a golf tournament on Sunday afternoon now with no Tiger Woods involved? Like, you had Rahm, right, who was in there. He's one of the best golfers. You had Koepka, who's in there. You had Phillip, who made a run at the end. Obviously, they wasn't really close the whole way, but what will it take for you now to watch a major on a Sunday now, Tyler?
I mean, it's got to have, like, Spieth, McIlroy, and Rahm or one of
They
the
were in
live
it.
guys. Yeah, but they weren't. Spieth came from, like, -2 to -6. Like, he was never in it. He made his way up. But, like, they'd have to be at the top of the board battling each other in the same group.
Have you ever seen this shot of Rahm? I saw it. I don't know why it came up on my YouTube channel, but like Rahm from a couple of years ago, he skipped the ball. These guys skip the ball, which is absolutely insane that they can do that to begin with. I mean, I can hit it in the water, but I can't skip
I will go with the water and Kirkland.
And so, Brian, they skip it over the water like 8 times, and then it ends up rolling in the hole. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like that's like a practice shot, but I was like, "Good God!"
That kind of reminds me of Happy Gilmore when he tees off and it goes right in the hole. He's like, "I'll just do that every time."
Yeah, it's a good play. Good play.
So much easier than putting.
So much easier than putting.
Brian, did you ever golf at the fairgrounds with Darren? Did you ever?
Oh yeah.
You used to golf a little bit?
I think one time the only time I think I ever walked off the course, Brian was with me. I was like, "It's too damn cold, Brian. I'm leaving them."
Yeah, it was like misty outside, and
you're complaining. It's misty.
You're complaining you can get grip on your club, and my dad was actually with us, and he kind of said, "Man, I'm glad he left. He made us look back."
I don't remember Brucey Johnson being as on that one. I remember Brucey
Darren loves golfing at the
It
crack
was
of dawn.
misty.
So
Oh man,
think
maybe
you could handle a little
under the
cold.
bus. Man, it was misty out here. I remember when your dad you would come up on caller ID, Brucey Johnson. All right. So last part I got here, then we'll get to winners and losers and a couple shout outs I want to throw out. Name a movie you believe is a hidden gem that most people might have forgotten about. Tyler, you got one there?
I'll go with the kids' movies first. Johnny Tsunami is just a classic. And then Blank Check as well. 2 Disney movies that are just must-sees if you haven't seen them. And then a real adult movie is Fury with Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf. If you haven't seen it, it's unbelievable. I'm a big Shia LaBeouf fan as an actor. He's freaking insane. And Brad Pitt's amazing in it. It's heart-wrenching. It's all you can ask for in a war movie.
Brian, you got maybe one that maybe people forget about?
Yeah, it's called The Town. It has Ben Affleck in it, and it's really good. They play bank robbers, but he's just really good at playing those dark roles sometimes.
A lot of people
It's
don't
not
like
Batman.
For some reason, I like Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence. It's a very lame movie. A
That's
lot, a lot of people don't like that movie, but I don't know why. I always enjoy that. Maybe it's the idiot that's with him. But
I remember they hid the diamond and it ended up being a police station.
Have you seen Nothing to Lose with, I think it's Martin Lawrence and the guy?
Oh yeah, that was really funny.
He's like tries to rob Martin Lawrence, or Martin Lawrence tries to rob him, and he just speeds off, and like they're hanging out. I don't know, they become friends, I guess, but it's a very funny movie. What's that guy's name? The guy in Shawshank, main character.
What's the
Tim Robbins?
Yeah.
Those two
About
guys.
half a day.
Yeah, because he thinks that he thinks his wife's cheating on him, but it was her sister that was. Yeah.
If I have to go maybe like a little bit more, definitely a lot more serious movie. It's called A Time to Kill. It's with
Matthew.
Matthew help me out.
McConaughey.
Yeah, then what's Sandra Bullock's in it, and Samuel Jackson. It's a good movie for
Very
sure.
good.
So that's one. I don't know if people haven't seen that one. That was on my underrated list as well as maybe a hidden gem as well. So a couple of their Blue Streak. That's my ridiculous one though. But whatever it's on, I catch it at the right time. I'm probably keeping it on in there at the same time. What are you doing in the bathroom there? Sorry, Jim. All right. Winners and losers of the week. Before we get to do that, I want to shout out a few people here. Like I said, my guy Terrell at Realism Sports, listened to his pod the other day, gave us a little shout out here on Sunday mornings. So appreciate that. No, like I said, I was on his pod a couple weeks ago, so he does good stuff over there. Our guy DA, man, he's always on everything. Good, mad respect to him. He always works hard. So check out his stuff on Rush. Puts out takes all the time. Guy P Shark, he was over in Atlanta. I saw based on his Twitter doing stuff over there. So he's doing good stuff for the Grizzlies on TV more and more. So want to shout him out. Our guy 3 the Hardaway. Savage and those guys checking out. C Wood always coming in, always retweeting our stuff. Appreciate him. He put a new podcast out this week, so I appreciate encourage you guys to listen to that. All the people at Variety Sports, Out of Your Mouth, Top of Mind, Far on the Bench, all those guys. Appreciate you guys. Brandon, Josh, 7th Inning Stretch. Appreciate you guys. Supporting us. Doug at House of Agenda. They kind of retweet a lot of our stuff, so I appreciate you guys. I want to shout you guys out as well. And then Josh Lewis. His guy there, I know he's going to be taking a little step back from some stuff at Variety Sports Network, but I appreciate him and the stuff he's done for the network. Obviously, he's still be doing Facing the Giants with you as well. So wanted to shout those guys out this week, and obviously a lot of other people I probably forgot along the way, but just a few people that were on my mind this week for some of the stuff they've been working hard. Got the guys at Far on the Bench. They had a good podcast this week too, so I encourage you guys to listen to them as well. Tyler, winners and losers this week. Who you got for winner?
I had the Kings crowd. It was fun. It was everything you can hope for in a playoff series, especially a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in 17 years. They showed up, they showed out, and they were loud, and they did their job. They made it tough.
Brian, you got a winner?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Seth Rollins?
No, I'm gonna go with the Clippers because they got into the playoffs and they won the play-in game. So I'm gonna go with the Clippers.
I mean, we should have talked about it a few weeks ago, but Vince McMahon's mustache. We're talking about a winner.
He looked like a bad guy in a James Bond movie.
I thought it was fake. I thought somebody put something fake on him at first. I thought when I saw that, I thought there was something that was fake with that. That's a good one, bro. I got winner. I got Andrew Heaney struck out 9 guys. Incredible. That's a strike out 9 straight guys. That's pretty impressive to do there. Winner of the week there. Also, thank you, NBA basketball, for allowing more physical play. Like, just can we keep this in the regular season? Like, they're still calling fouls, but they definitely let a lot more go, especially on the out of bounds rebounding fouls and that type of garbage. So good stuff. I like that stuff. Winner of the week there. Looking forward to watching more of that. Loser of the week, Brian. You got a loser of the week?
Yeah, I do. The umpire who called a pitch clock violation on Cody Bellinger when he's just receiving a standing ovation. It's like, how do you do that?
Rules are the rules.
That was great, Brian. That was definitely – you got to love some of the umpires. Just like, these get right in there. You won't be able to do that with the computer umpire. They'll take all the time you want. All right, loser of the week. Tyler, you got one there?
Mine kind of a serious one. I have the Dalai Lama asking a kid to suck on his tongue. Just disgusting. It's just foul. They man should be in jail. You cannot have a kid sit on your lap and ask him to suck on your tongue.
The Dalai Lama? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why he's not in jail. Why are there no charges being pressed? Any normal human being, this would be like in a crowd setting. He did this, and it's just thrown under the rug. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Honestly, you caught me off guard with that. I was not expecting that. I wish I would have knew more.
It's a big loser.
Yeah, it's a big loser right there. I don't think I can match it.
Send him back to China.
I can't send him back. Loser at O'Neal. Just the incident. O'Neal Cruz breaking his foot there at home plate. Obviously, one of the better younger players. So too bad he'll be out for about 4 months. And then the Pelicans. They didn't make the playoffs. Got that one right. Did not make the playoffs with that one. Everybody thought they were a lock. Injuries, though, to that team, and just obviously couldn't win the play-in game against the Thunder. And there you go. So, those are my losers for the week. All right, any last thoughts there, T? You got baseball practice?
Baseball practice, soccer games, and busy day.
Are you guys undefeated still? Are you still undefeated?
No, we lost. Four of our 6 top picks went out of town skiing, so we had to use minor leaguers and left and right field, and we just got abused.
You got to develop that minor league system a little bit there. Developable there. Brian, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Tyler.
All right,
guys. I'll see you tonight.
Yep. Let's say that again.
Podcast
all right,
today.
guys. Till next time. Peace.
Bye.
Later.